Okay. Oh, okay. Somebody's missing. You can take a good sitting posture. It's already 1 o'clock, so let's continue like 30 minutes or so, and then have lunch, and then after lunch, like continue to proper practices. Yesterday I wrote a piece entitled Padmasambhava's Pure Land Buddhism. And this text was like a addition to what I wrote in 2 months ago about introducing Pemako Buddhism, which can also be found from the Open Heart blog. And I just thought that it might be useful to say a little something about Pure Land Buddhisms, different kinds of Pure Land Buddhism, because like our Pemako or Pure Land Buddhism differs from most forms of Pure Land Buddhism. So I'll just read you a few passages. This is a copied paragraph from Wikipedia, from Pure Land Buddhism page. Pure Land Buddhism is a broad branch of Mahayana Buddhism and one of the most widely practiced traditions of Buddhism in East Asia. Pure Land is a tradition of Buddhist teachings that are focused on the Buddha Amitabha. Pure Land-oriented practices and concepts are found within basic Mahayana Buddhist cosmology and form an important component of the Mahayana Buddhist traditions of China, Japan, Korea, Vietnam, and Tibet. And that was the paragraph. And I'll read another one, like I bolded this sentence in my notes. Pure Land-oriented practices and concepts form an important component of Mahayana Buddhism. And then I will read a text entitled A Brief Introduction to Pure Land Buddhism by David Brazier. David Brazier is a really wonderful teacher. He's already maybe 70 years old, and he has founded this Pure Land Buddhist Sangha, Amida Shu, and this text is written by him. Pure Land Buddhism allows foolish beings such as ourselves to rely on being loved just as we are by Amida, the Buddha of infinite light. Our main practice is saying the name of Amida Buddha, Namo Amida Bu, also known as the Nembutsu, which connects us to what is infinitely loving and wise in the universe. Then there is a quote of the founder of Pure Land Buddhism, Honen Shonin. Only repeat the name of Amida, Amitabha with all your heart. This is the very work which unfailingly issues in liberation. Then David Brazier continues. The essence of Pure Land Buddhism is the same as is at the heart of all great spirituality. How we can put ourselves in relationship with unconditional love and live a life that is open, spontaneous, compassionate, and full of faith. In Pure Land, the great unconditional love is embodied by Amitabha, the Buddha of infinite life and light. We recognize that as foolish human beings, we recognize that as foolish human beings, we are full of greed and hate, and that we act selfishly and make many mistakes. Crucially, we also recognize that despite of this, we are completely acceptable and lovable in that condition, just as we are. In the language of Pure Land Buddhism, what we are accepted by is the love of the Buddhas, and Amitabha Buddha in particular. We practice reciting the Buddha's name in order to allow some of the spirit of that great love into our lives. Practicing in this way, our lives become more meaningful. As we recognize our nature as ordinary, flawed, and fallible human beings, we become more sympathetic to the failings of others. We feel loved and more able to love others in return. So that was a short introduction to traditional, like the most common Pure Land Buddhism by David Brazier. And here's the note that I wrote yesterday. Pure Land Buddhism exists in various areas and forms. The main idea of Pure Land Buddhism is relying on other power, usually that of Amitabha Buddha. Relying, being devoted, or lovingly surrendering to other power is a cornerstone of Tantric Buddhism as well, where a samsaric being puts his or her faith to the Guru, his teachings, and the three jewels, Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. The core of Pemako Buddhism, or Padmasambhava's Pure Land Buddhism, is the trust that as samsaric beings, practitioners have for Guru Padmasambhava and his teachings, because we can trust that he will help us to realize our own Buddhahood. In Pemako Buddhism, we combine relying on other power and using self-power through extensive tantric practice, meditation, and contemplation. Because of this point, Pemako Buddhism differs from other schools of Pure Land Buddhism. Pemako Buddhism combines the two principles, wisdom and understanding of the head, and devotion of the heart, together to make a whole. As ignorant and self-delusional beings, we rely on the Guru to receive his guidance and blessings, as well as through practice and analysis help ourselves. Pemako Buddhism and its different practices can be taken up by anyone who recognizes that these teachings carry an important meaning for a samsaric being. Even though we speak of surrender and devotion, the foundation of our practice is our own first-hand experience, never belief or blind faith. As sincere practitioners, we commit in our daily practice and Guru devotion to eradicate our deeply ingrained sense of self. Through thorough mind purification and insights into the selfless nature of our minds, we come to understand who we really are, both existentially as well as human beings. The real goal of Pemako Buddhism is for us to become fully aware beings, living Buddhas. We see the possibility of becoming living Buddhas as a realistic option in this body and life, because through diligent practice and blessings of the Guru, we can see that it actually is not far away. Guru Rinpoche does not have any other wish than for us to attain what he himself has attained. May Guru Rinpoche's invitation be received by those who are ready. May Pemako Buddhism spread to all those who seek for it. May all beings be free of ignorance, anger, hatred, and jealousy. Namo Guru Rinpoche. And that's it. Let's sit for a while.